Hi everyone, it's Bernard here on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. Hope you're all very, very well. It's Friday, the 25th of October, so this is our final part of our movie memories. So this is part 3 of 3. If you've not watched the other two, get back and watch them. Push the old subscribe button if you like this. I'm glad you joined me today anyway. Push the bell notifications when you know when these videos are coming out. So this obviously is the last part of the movie memories of the horror movies, top-rated horror movies. Not necessarily the biggest box office, not necessarily, you know, what you'd see sort of all the time. There may be some sort of quirky ones in here, but we're going to have a look at the 80s today. The 80s, the 2010s, so we're right up to date. And a quick little look back at the pre-60s, which there's some fantastic stuff there. And I'm going to give you the top 10 rated, and this is based on ratings from Rotten Tomatoes, Empire Magazine, IMDb, Internet Movie Database. So I've had a quick look at a few of them, and a couple of ones sort of I've not really heard of myself, but I just threw in there for. So I've looked at the averages, and these are like the top rated. So if you agree with them, you know, let me know if you agree. If you don't, then obviously just let me know what you think, because I mean I put my own little wild cards in there as well. I didn't quite make the top 10, and I'll give you a little rundown of 10 to 4, and then obviously for the top 3 I'll give you a little bit of trivia about them from Internet Movie Database. Some interesting stuff you might like to see on there. Let's start with the 80s. Number 10, we've got Poltergeist. So from 1982. We've got the old Poltergeist. So obviously that was one of my favourite movies at the time. It only cost 10 million to make. At the box office, it made 122 million. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy with the sad thing with the young star and it, etc., etc. Obviously about a possessed house that turns into a possessed land, doesn't it? Bit of plot of land. Poltergeist is one of my favourites, obviously 1982. That only came in at number 10, so there must be some really good ones coming up, mustn't there? The next one we're looking at, number 9, is An American Werewolf in London, 1981. That came out. Well, that's one of the first films I took my ex-wife to, I think, in Manchester. American Werewolf in London. I remember going to watch that with her. 6 million it cost to make, and it clawed back 62 million at the box office. Obviously, we all know it's the famous backpackers in with the old werewolf and lovely Jenny Agutter in that one, isn't it? That's at number 9, American Werewolf in London. At number 8, another one of that really did scare me when I first watched this one. It was Evil Dead. That came out in 1981. You remember Evil Dead? Let me just something on the site there. Possessed evilness in the cabin in the woods, isn't it? It only cost 400,000 to make, and it actually clawed back 29 million at the box office, so it did really well, and I remember it absolutely terrifying me. At number 7, we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street, another one that absolutely frightened me to death. My youngest used to love horror movies when she was a kid, and I shouldn't have probably. Well, she's pretty much well put together now, but I mean, obviously, she just used to love them. Used to go to the video shop and used to run to the horror movies straight away. And she perhaps watched this a little bit younger than she should have done, and it was the only horror film I ever knew that actually scared her, and it did scare me. A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, 1.8 million to buy, 26 million it took at the box office. Obviously, Freddy Krueger invading our lives. At number 6, we had The Fly. Again, number 19, obviously a remake with Jeff Goldblum. But I mean, obviously, if you've seen the black and white original with Vincent Price, absolutely superb. But The Fly made number 6, 15 million to make, 61 million it took at the box office. At number 5 of the 80s, we've got Predator, which was made in 1987. That was made for $18 million and got back 99 million. So we got the wonderful Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's back with it on our screen, isn't he? In the new Terminator. I couldn't think what it was then. So, I mean, that's Arnie's back with us, but obviously that was Predator back in 87, 32 years ago. That made number 5 at the top 10 80s horror movies, or scary movies, if you like, rather than just pure horror. At number 4, we got Evil Dead 2. So Evil Dead 2 actually rated above Evil Dead, which is quite surprised me. I saw a poll yesterday where they're asking people which one they preferred, and I think it came to 53% for Evil Dead and 47% for Evil Dead 2. But overall, top ratings, 3.6 million to make. It clawed back 6 million at the box office, so it wasn't a massive thing, obviously, but obviously more of the old Demons in the Woods. That was from 1987. And we go to number 3. Number 3 is, let's get that here there. So a little bit about this. Number 3, there you go, see that? Obviously, no. Number 3 is the wonderful, again, another film that really did scare me as a youngster. The Thing, it did really, youngster, no, 82. I mean, I wasn't a youngster, was it? 82. I was knocking on a bit. No, it did absolutely frighten me when I watched that. With it being a sci-fi element as well. A lot of people don't watch the sci-fi horrors, even if they're into horrors, because obviously the science fiction element. But why, I don't know. So that rated number 3 in the 80s. A little bit of trivia on The Thing for you. This movie has become part of the culture of Antarctica. It's a long-standing tradition in the all-British Antarctic research stations to watch The Thing in 1982 as part of their midwinter feast and celebration held every June 21st. John Carpenter stated that of all his films, this is his personal favourite. To give the illusion of icy Antarctic conditions, interior sets on the Los Angeles sound stages were refrigerated down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, while it was well over 100 degrees outside. The film's considered a benchmark in special makeup effects, and effects were created by Rob Bottin, who was only 22 when he started the project. So, The Thing is an absolutely wonderful film. Put the next one in for you so I can get some information on this for you. And the remake, yeah, I quite like the remake. I thought the remake was pretty good, to be honest with you. I was quite impressed with it. Anyway, that's at number 3, the top rated movies of the 80s. 15 million it cost to make, and only got 20 million back in America. Obviously, worldwide receipts would have been a lot higher than that. And at number 2, we've got this little one, obviously, The Shining. Again, a film I watched many times, and when it first came out in the UK, I took my good lady to what we were married. Obviously, when this came out, The Shining, I took my this was 1980. I was married in 79, so I took my lady to. We loved this film, great film. 19 million to make, 44 million it got back, and we do have the following up coming very soon, don't we? Which is something I'm really looking forward to, and I hope everyone else is as well. It looks really good from what I've seen so far. The Shining. Because Danny Lloyd was so young and since it was his first acting job, Stanley Kubrick was highly protective, as he should be, during the shooting of the movie. Lloyd was under the impression that the film he was making was a drama, not a horror movie. In fact, when Wendy carries Danny away while shouting at Jack in the Colorado lounge, she's actually carrying a life-size dummy, so Lloyd will not have to be in the scene. He only realised the truth several years later when he was shown a heavily edited version of the film. He did not see the uncut version of the film until he was 17, 11 years after he had made it. So that's amazing. The idea for Danny Lloyd to move his finger while he was talking as Tony was his own. He did it spontaneously during his very first audition. For the scene in which Jack breaks down the bathroom door, the props department built a door that could be easily broken. However, Jack Nicholson had worked as a volunteer fire marshal and tore it apart far too early. The props department were then forced to build a stronger door. So if you love The Shining like I love the Shining, let me know below. And it's I will be rewatching that before this sequel obviously comes out as well. I will be doing that. Right, at number 3. No, sorry, at number 1. I've done number 3. At number 1 of the 80s movies, top rated. What would you think? We're talking Aliens. Not Alien, we're talking Aliens. 1986. 18 million to make, 183 million it took back at the box office, and obviously the wonderful Sigourney Weaver in it again. Yeah, I get some trivia on the Aliens for you. Like most films, the movie wasn't shot in sequence, but for added realism, James Cameron filmed the scene scene where we first meet the Colonial Marines, one of the earliest scenes last. This was so that the camaraderie of the Marines was realistic, because the actors had spent months filming together. So Lance Henriksen had privately pledged to quit acting if this part didn't work out for him after years of journeyman roles. It proved to be one of his most successful films. The knife trick scene was not in the original shooting script, according to Lance Henriksen. The adding of Hudson's hand to the knife trick was discussed with almost everyone except Bill Paxton. In both the standard and the special edition versions, the 15-minute countdown at the end of the film is indeed 15 minutes. So it's always good when they do them live things and get it right, where they actually time it to perfection, isn't it? It's always good when you see that. So that was number 1. So we had number 10, Poltergeist, number 9, American Werewolf in London, number 8, The Evil Dead, number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street, number 6, The Fly, number 5, Predator, number 4, Evil Dead 2, and the top 3, number 3, The Thing, number 2, The Shining, and number 1, Aliens. And my little wild card that I'm going to throw in had a lasting effect on me in the 80s, The Fog. What a great, we've got The Mist, haven't we, which is a fairly recent one, but The Fog was an absolutely superb film. It's one of those films I watch again and again and again. And still scares me now. Still scares me to watch it. And I always forget it was Jamie Lee Curtis for some reason. I always forget Jamie Lee Curtis was in The Fog. Didn't rate overly highly, but I thought, so it didn't get into the top ratings, but I put it in as my wild card. Hope you agree with that. All this was essentially a low-budget independent movie. John Carpenter chose to shoot the movie in anamorphic widescreen Panavision. This decision gave the movie a grander feel for the viewer, so it didn't seem like a low-budget horror movie. Quite right, it works as well. Adrienne Barbeau patterned her voice after Alison Steele, who was a female disc jockey from the 60s, who was known as the Nightbird. After a rough cut, this movie appeared too short for theatrical release, about 80 minutes. John Carpenter subsequently added more scenes, among them the prologue with the elderly captain telling ghost stories to fascinated children by a campfire. So as far as the 80s are concerned, I am going to put The Fog as my little wild card, even though it obviously wasn't very well liked by other people's, but hey, it's my thing. I can do what I want, can't I? So I hope you agree with that. I hope you agree that I've done the right thing with that one. Right, so let's have a look at the next one. We're looking at the 2010s. So again, 2010s might be more fondly look back on. Obviously, where in a few years' time, obviously we're in the 2010s, so perhaps they don't rate as highly. At number 10, we've got Green Room, a 15 certificate. 5 million to make, only got back 4 million. About a punk rock band fighting for survival. Yeah, I think I like Green Room. It's one of the odd ones to get into the top 10, but I did like Green Room. And if you've not seen that, go out and watch it. That was number 10 of the 2010s. At number 9, one of my least favourites, Ready or Not, which only came out very recently, cost 6 million. Up to now, it's took about 53 million at the box office. So obviously, I'm totally in the wrong on Ready or Not. I may have to watch it again. Perhaps I was tired when I watched it. I'm not sure. I wasn't overly impressed with Ready or Not. Obviously, a bride has to play a dangerous game on a wedding night. At number 8, we've got Don't Breathe, which I did enjoy. 10 million it cost, 157 million at the box office. A blind woman's house is broken into. A blind man's house is broken into. That's a very, very good film. If you've not watched Don't Breathe, that came in at number 8. At number 7, we have the very gruesome Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell. Great little film, 1.8 million. It's always good to see cannibals and these sort of things in these movies. 1.8 million, and it only got 500,000 back at the box office. So it didn't say this isn't about box office. This is all about how films rated, and Bone Tomahawk's up at number 7. At number 6, we've got 10 Cloverfield Lane. Another great little pot boiler, wasn't it? That one, 15 million, 110 million at the box office. Sort of obviously a hostage situation thing it turns into, but a nice little film, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Again, you know, if you look at the horrors from the 80s, these are more scary, dark films, aren't they? Some of these. And at number 5, well, that is a quite scary one, The Conjuring 2. So at number 5, we've got The Conjuring 2, 40 million to make, 320 million back. Obviously, it takes part in London, doesn't it? With the based on the famous true story of the haunting in London, The Conjuring 2. So that's obviously one of the Conjuring universe movies, but that came in at number 5 on the top rated. At number 4, we got the original It, and not the TV series, and the 2017 film version, which I did enjoy. I must admit, I enjoyed it probably more than It 2, to be honest with you. 35 million to make, an incredible 700 million takings at the cinema with our old demented clown. And now we're going to the top 3. So that was number 4. That was It. And at number 3, we've had Conjuring 2, haven't we? So, yeah, we had to have Conjuring, the original Conjuring, obviously, which started off this Conjuring universe thing. A little bit of trivia on that. I mean, it was 20 million to make, 320 million it got at the box office. About a haunted farm, the farmhouse. The real Perron family visited the set of the film. I mean, yeah, the thing with Conjuring, I mean, obviously it's sort of linked with true stories. So the Perron family were involved in this because it was linked to their story. 8 generations of families lived and died in the house before the Perrons moved in. Andrea Perron suggested that some of the spirits from the families never left. Deaths included 2 documented suicides, a poisoning death, the rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl, 2 drownings, and the passing of 4 men who froze to death. Most deaths occurred within the Arnold family, from which Bathsheba Sherman was descended. So horrible tale. True, you know, a horrible tale behind it as well, which makes the horror movie all so much better. When the movie was shown in the Philippines, some cinemas had to hire Catholic priests to bless the viewers before showing it. This was due to some viewers having reported a negative presence after watching the film. The priests also provided spiritual and psychological help to the viewers. So, yeah, I can't disagree with The Conjuring being up there. I did find that a truly scary film when I watched it. I enjoyed it. That came out in 2013, The Conjuring. Obviously Conjuring 2 followed 2016. And on to number 2, another great film. I really did enjoy this, and I enjoyed it when we watched it with Sharon. We did watch it, but obviously we've got The Quiet Place, A Quiet Place, 2018. Fantastic. I mean, it's obviously a monster movie, isn't it? It's obviously still horrible post-apocalyptic thing of strange creatures who obviously react to sound. 21 million it cost to make, 341 million it got back. But I mean, I loved The Quiet Place. Thought it was a great film. The film director and lead actor John Krasinski played the monster in a motion capture suit for a few scenes. Actress Maleficent. You can tell what I've been watching, can't you? Actress Millicent Simmons has been deaf since infancy due to a medication overdose. This was the second film she starred in, The Wonderstruck, but 2017 being her first. I didn't know that. Brian Woods and Scott Beck's original screenplay contained only 1 line of voiced dialogue. So, yeah, I mean, A Quiet Place rates at number 2 in the 2010s. And at number 1, not my favourite. It's okay. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have raved over it when it came out, and I've watched it again since, and I still wouldn't think fantastic. But yeah, it had elements. Obviously, it's more of a darker film, Get Out, which was made in 2017. So yeah. Not my favourite. Let's have a look at a bit of trivia on Get Out. 27. You like it, fair enough. But say top-rated movies of the 2010s, that's come out as the number 1. Daniel Kaluuya was given the lead role on the spot after nailing his audition. Writer, co-producer, and director Jordan Peele said Kaluuya did about 5 takes of a key scene in which his character needs to cry, and each was so perfect that the single tear came down at the exact same time for each take. The movie was filmed in 23 days. Due to the success of this film, Jordan Peele became the first African-American writer, producer, and director to earn more than $100 million in a debut film. Well, you know, yeah. I mean, okay. it's one of these slow burners, isn't it? 4.5 million to make. 45 million to make. Got back 255 million. It's absolutely superb figures. And yeah, Get Out wasn't my favourite. I did like it in a way. I'm perhaps being a bit too down on it. It was okay for me. I would have given. I'm not sure. Obviously, it came out before I did these ratings, etc. Would probably give 6.5 to a 7. On my little wild card that I'm going to throw in, that's number 1, obviously, the 2010s Get Out. Do you agree with that? Let me know in your comments. And my little wild card, I mean, I think for the sheer audacity, I mean, it cost $270 million to make World War Z, obviously with Mr. Brad Pitt. And it did get about 540 million, so it did double its intake. But I'm going to have that. I just don't know if I like zombie things, and there's some rubbish out there. There's some great TV stuff is in The Walking Dead, Project, is it Z and all that. There's some great stuff out there on zombies anyway. But I did enjoy World War Z, I must admit. It was just silly, but I think I enjoyed the effects. I enjoyed the money that was spent on it. I thought it was a good little film, so I've included that as my wild card. At the time, this was the highest grossing film of Brad Pitt's career. I think he's obviously been overtaken now. The Israeli Military Intelligence Directorate does indeed have a devil's advocate office to explore alternative assumptions and worst case scenarios, so intelligence assessment doesn't fall victim to groupthink, but it is not called the 10th man doctrine. Brad Pitt said of his involvement in the film, "This whole thing started because I just wanted to do a film that my boys could see before they turned 18 and one that they would like anyways." And they love a zombie. I think we all love a zombie, don't we? Let's be honest about it. We all love a bit of a zombie. So yeah, World War Z is going to be my wild card. So for the 2010s, at number 10, Green Room. At number 9, Ready or Not. At number 8, Don't Breathe. At number 7, Bone Tomahawk. At number 6, 10 Cloverfield Lane. At number 5, The Conjuring 2. At number 4, It. At number 3, The Conjuring. At number 2, A Quiet Place. And at number 1, Get Out. And a quick look at the pre-60s. And a lot of these films I watched as a kid when I first get into horror films. I love my Hammer horrors, obviously. But so all these films of the 40s, 50s, 30s, I would have watched as a kid and enjoyed and gone to bed and hidden under the covers. Because that's what I did. And, obviously, even though nothing's real and you're going to wake up in the morning, the only real horrors on cinema are obviously they're in real life. But yeah, I used to love these sort of films. At number 5, one of my favourites, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1956. 417,000 to make, 3 million at the box office. Obviously, with the old, it's been done again. Obviously, has it been done better? Probably not. I mean, it's been done in TV series, etc. Obviously, where aliens duplicate human beings. But I mean, if you remember the last scene of that film, I mean, it sort of lives with you. It's one of my favourites. At number 4, Dead of the Night. I mean, this 1940s supernatural going on thing at a country house. I think it was a British film. I might be right in that. Dead of the Night. A great film. If you're not, it's one that probably a lot of people may have missed. It was made in 1945, so during wartime, which obviously give it extra emphasis, obviously. But Dead of the Night rated as number 4 in the pre-60s. So I mean, I've looked at from the 10s to the 50s here. So these are real high-rated films. At number 3, we've got the wonderful, again, Freaks from 1932, a trapeze artist, gold digger, who obviously gets mixed up at a carnival or a circus with circus freaks. But again, another film that I will go, it reminds me, I'll go back and watch it. Freaks from 1932, rated number 3. And at number 2, I mean, I've lost count how many times I've seen this. A creature feature, 1933, of course, King Kong. I mean, absolutely stunning movie. 672,000 to make, over 5 million at the box office, which were incredible figures at the time in 1933. But hey, I mean, how many times I've watched King Kong? I've lost. I don't mind the new versions of it, but the original, absolutely brilliant. And at number 1, you can't see the writing on this particularly, but it's actually a silent movie. And it is a German film, but obviously it doesn't make any difference to be in this you know, to be #1 rated film of all time, pre-60s, was A Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I mean, a mad hypnotist. I mean, absolutely stunning film. If you've not seen it, back to 1920, this was made. Please go and watch this if you've never caught it. And you might find it a bit silly, but hey, remember when it was, and it is of its time. Writer Hans Janowitz claims to have gotten the idea for the film when he was at a carnival one day. He saw a strange man lurking in the shadows. The next day, he heard that a girl was brutally murdered there. He went to the funeral and saw the same man lurking around. He had no proof that the strange man was the murderer, but he fleshed the whole idea out into his film. The sets were made out of paper. Well, if you watch the film, yeah, with the shadows painted on the walls. Played at one Paris theatre for 7 years. Sets were constructed for less than $800, and the leading actors were paid $30 a day. I mean, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari is absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to finish with a film as a wild card. For me, which absolutely as a kid was one of my favourites. It was called something different in America. It was called The Curse of the Demon, but I know it, and it's a British made film, so I know it, and quite rightly know it, as Night of the Demon. So obviously, you'd say it was called, for some reason, called Curse of the Demon in America. And I always, my young mind always thought people like Vincent Price was in this and stuff like, and actors like that, but there's no Vincent Price in this film. But what a great film. I mean, this is another creature feature, and it did have a lasting effect. And this is my wild card. It did rate quite highly, but not just quite highly enough to get into the top 5. So I threw it in there. Made in 1957. I hope you love this film like I love it. I watched it countless times as a youngster. I'll go back and watch it again over Halloween, obviously. Jacques Tourneur never planned to show the monster, but to leave it instead to the audience imagination, which would have been a shame because I loved seeing the monster. I know that there was a lot of, I can see what point he was trying to, what he was trying to do. However, the studio insisted that the monster be shown and added it in post-production, allegedly without Tourneur's consent, approval, or involvement. The scenes where we really see the demon was shot without me, all except one. I shot the sequence in the woods. This is a quote. I shot the sequence in the woods where Andrews is pursued by this sort of cloud. Tournier himself in the this is from Tournier himself, the mid-minuet fantastique. It should have been unveiled bit by bit without it never really being shown. So that was his, and I remember that mist. I mean, that mist does still stay with me, but the actual image of the monster stays with me as well. So I'm glad the studio stuck that in as well, because that made it even better for me. Dan Andrews was so impressed with director Jacques Tournier that when he returned to the United States, he had Tournier direct his next film, The Fear Makers, in 1958. Ray Harryhausen was contacted to create the effects scene with the demon, but he was already committed to his project, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, 1958. So there you go. And finally finishing off, Joanna Harrington's license plate includes the number 666, the traditional number of the beast. Yeah. So whether it's Curse of the Demon for you in the US or Night of the Demon for me in the UK, oh, my favourite film pre-60s. Even though I've got lots of favourite films, obviously. So number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Number 4, Dead of the Night. Number 3, Freaks. Number 2, King Kong. Number 1, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I hope you've enjoyed that little wander through with me, just under half an hour. Sorry, it's gone on a little bit long. I hope you enjoyed that anyway. Push the give us an old thumbs up if you enjoyed that, and some great memories there, some great films, and I'm glad we finished off part 3 with some really good stuff, and especially Night of the Demon, which, yeah, I mean, I've got lots and lots and lots of favourite films, but that's up there. I think Night of the Demon, yeah. One of my younger favourites as a kid. With it being come out in 57 as well, I was probably watching that in the late 60s on TV, and fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, if you tell your friends, push your subscribe button, and that'd be great. And obviously, push the bell notification when these videos are coming out. On Monday, I'll be back with the UK DVD and Blu-ray releases. And I can only thank you again for watching. Obviously, next Friday, Halloween would have come and gone. So I'm not sure what we're doing yet next Friday. That's the joy of having a day where I just do, just sort of decide nearer the time. So I'll be back on Monday with the UK DVD and Blu-ray releases. Thank you so much for watching. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, particularly look after your family. And thanks again, and join me again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.